Welcome everybody to season 3 of Smitty and Selitte. We're finally back.
We're on all the major podcasting platforms now.
All our loyal fans can catch us on everywhere you can get a podcast now. How's it feel to be back, Smitty?
I'm quite well. When I say I'm quite well, I'm bullshitting. What happened to the world since season 2?
A lot of things. A lot.
It burned down, crashing in a blaze of hellfire. What is life?
A pandemic is going on.
You can say that again.
Mm-hmm.
But
let's start from the top. Oh.
Yes. Oh, good. Go for it. Speak words, Damon.
Let's start from the top.
Let's
start with the most obvious one.
What's up?
Easily one of the greatest New York Giants to ever suit up has finally announced his retirement. Good old Eli Manning. After, 16, 17 seasons with the team?
16. Love you, 16. Big Daddy. Thank you for the 2 Super Bowls. Sorry that the second half of your career was ruined by Jerry Reese, Dave Gettleman, John Mara, Ben McAdoo. Wow, we had a lot of shitty front office and coaches. Front office people and coaches.
You could say that again.
And I missed the guy. It was clear that it was time to move on, go with Daniel Jones, but, very, very, very happy with the return we got. 16 years, 2 Super Bowl rings, never any trouble either. Our quarterback didn't have 11 kids. So I don't think that would work in the New York market, having 11 kids. You know how difficult that would be.
Exactly. Just living in the New York area in general.
But Eli, I think he had a son earlier this year or last year. So congratulations on that. What is he? 38?
Around 30? That.
Yeah. So he had a great career, Hall of Famer for sure. Don't argue with me on that one. All right.
It's not even just the on-field stuff with Eli, just the off-field, handling the New York media for as long as he did, for as professionally as he did. Amazing.
He's probably the best I've ever seen at that.
Mm-hmm.
He's given away his Super Bowl car to help I forgot what he was helping. I don't know. What was he helping? I'm not sure, but he's giving away his Super Bowl car. I forgot what kind of car it was. He's just a good dude.
Mm-hmm.
Huge nose.
Alright, so hopefully he enjoys retirement. Team is in good hands with Daniel Jones. Let's move on.
Stop fumbling the ball. That's all I have to say.
Dave Gettleman is still GM of the New York Football Giants.
It's not ideal. Because we're still bad. Don't get fooled. We're still bad.
Mm-hmm.
No matter what we do on Thursday, we're still bad.
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to be bad. But we have a young quarterback. Now, Dave Gettleman hired some computer folk. Computer folk. That's what I said. Over the offseason. 4 of them, in fact. Not 8. You got to do the LeBron James line. Not 4, not 5, not 6. Except he did hire 4. So I don't know how the dude kept his job, but he did.
He suckered Mara, how literally everyone who's come into his office just suckers Mara because he's a sucker.
How? But yeah, he's back. There's nothing I can do about it. He signed some football players in free agency.
We'll get to that, but first we have to go to the new head coach of the New York Football Giants,
yes,
Joe Judge.
Dave Gettleman and John Mara hired a coach because they fired Shermer. Oh, I would like to say something about Shermer before getting to Judge.
Yeah, go ahead.
Even though we were a terrible team with a terrible roster, I think he was a bad head coach. Like, I don't think he did a good job with his scheming, play calling, attention to detail, stuff like that. Like, I don't think he was good at that. Mm-hmm. And you need that to be a successful team. So I don't actually mind firing him. I just would have preferred to have seen Gettleman go with him.
Mm-hmm, yeah. Definitely.
And now we can get into Joe Judge, who I like what I've seen so far. I like his mentality. Mm-hmm. He scares me. He is a terrifying presence. He's just a very intense person. You can see it in like the way he talks, and like whenever an interviewer asks him questions, he looks like he wants to murder them. If he wasn't a football coach, I could see him killing people for a living.
Do you think he got that from Belichick or Saban?
Yes.
His terrifying presence.
Both. They're both evil, murderous football coaches.
I definitely agree. I think he says all the right things.
He did say all the right things.
Coach.
I wish he would like say his players' names. Like he said, whenever someone asks him, like, "What do you think of Daniel Jones?" He does the whole, "I don't know. I'm not going to get into personnel. Yada yada yada." It's okay, it's okay to just say, "I think Daniel's very talented. I just want to look at the tape a little bit more." Like that's all you really need to say. You don't have to say, "I don't know anything about it." You could just say, like, "Hey, I saw him." Because the Patriots played the Giants last year. You could just say, I only saw really one game of Daniel Jones. He looked pretty good. He's a very talented kid, and I'm really looking forward to working with him. I just got to see more tape. That's all you have to say.
Mm-hmm. All I know is just I'm going to invest heavily into Joe Judge. People that have followed in his footsteps of starting off as, wide receiver coaches and special team coaches, especially coaching under better coaches, have come out very positive. So I am definitely investing heavily into him. I think he's the coach.
I like him. I like him. I like what he said about not making the players fit the scheme, but the scheme fit the players. That's something that we haven't had in a long time. Give me that, please. Just bring in the best football players. But I don't believe in free agency. They necessarily brought in the best football players. Like I didn't think Blake Martinez, for example, was the best. I know I'm not supposed to get into it, but I'm just using as an example. I didn't think that Blake Martinez was the best middle linebacker in free agency.
Mm-hmm. That's something we'll get a bit into, but first we got to talk to the offensive coordinator, Jason Garrett.
Oh yeah, the Clapper coming to the Big Apple.
Originally, he was being interviewed for the head coach position, but I guess we took him as offensive coordinator instead.
No, I think Joe Judge was hired before they scheduled it. No, I think Judge was hired like the week they scheduled an interview with Garrett, and it was for the offensive coordinator job. People were thinking it was for the head coach, but it was actually for the coordinator job.
Okay.
But I don't mind it at all. A guy who was a head coach for like a decade, you kind of need that with like a first-year head coach. Jason Garrett knows offense. He does. He's just kind of an idiot sometimes. He wasn't a bad coach. He was just mediocre as hell. But I don't deny the fact that he knows offense. He made a 4th round pick. Dak Prescott do some pretty great things. Tony Romo was pretty successful with him before all the injuries. So hopefully he can get Daniel Jones to stop fumbling the ball. Please.
Especially since he's a former quarterback himself.
Yes.
Daniel Jones a thing or two.
Former Giant quarterback for one game, I think.
All right, so now we move on to a move that I think had a bit of scrutiny behind it. Patrick Graham as defensive coordinator.
Yeah, I don't know anything about him other than he was with Miami, and I think he was with the Patriots.
I think he was with Green Bay as well.
I don't know. Yeah, Green Bay too. I don't know what schemes he tends to run. I haven't done enough homework there. All I can say is people seem to like him, so I'm quite excited to see what he brings. I don't want to say, oh my God, he's the greatest, or oh my God, he stinks. I'm just completely neutral, and I hope he's the best defensive coordinator ever.
I agree. Came under some scrutiny. Obviously, he was Dolphins DC this year. Dolphins had the worst defense in the league. That's obvious because they had no talent. So it's hard to see where he's going to go from here. Exactly.
Yeah. The Dolphins, for a team that stunk, actually played with a lot of heart, and you got to give your coaching staff that. I do think that Brian Flores and Patrick Graham and all those guys deserve a lot of credit.
Mm-hmm. And hopefully he brings that here. I think that's something our defense has been lacking is that coaching fire. That, get in your ass, light a fire under your ass type coaching.
Yeah, our defense. Apologize for some technical difficulties. Okay, that's fine. I can edit that out. It's going to be a clean break. All right. Okay, well, I was on Patrick Graham, so I'll just go into editing and I knew that was going to happen too.
All right, so now we're going to move on to the players finally.
Wait. I'm not done.
Oh, you weren't done with Graham?
But in conclusion, I hope Patrick Graham does great. Give him some credit for helping the Dolphins play with a lot of heart. The Giants are lacking an impact defensive player right now. They have a lot of okay and decent, but they don't have J.J. Watt. They don't have Aaron Donald. They don't even have a DeMarcus Lawrence. Mm-hmm. So I think in order to help,
I want to say D-Law 5 cents.
In order to help win football games, we're going to need an impact defensive player at some point.
Mm-hmm.
And that's my final statement on that. Good luck, Patrick.
Mm-hmm. I agree. Are you ready to move on to the players?
Yes, I will. Yes.
All right, let's start off with this move that had Giants fans separated. A lot of arguing between the beat writers and the fans. The tagging of Leonard Williams.
Yeah, I didn't like it. He's an okay player. He's good. He's fine. It just wasn't the right thing specifically for the Giants.
Should we have walked away from Williams? Should we have not tagged him?
We shouldn't have even traded for him. We traded an early 3rd-round pick and a 4th-round pick next year.
5th round?
Well, now it turns into a 4th round.
Oh, okay.
Because we brought him back. Mm. So, I just don't understand. You're trading draft assets, first of all. Then you're spending a large chunk of your cap to bring him back. That seems like, for a player who's not really an impact player, he's a good player who does some really nice things. He's just not he's not the player that you break the bank for, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that doesn't make sense. It's just, that $16 million really hits hard, especially when you're in this rebuild stage. You finally got some money for only 1 year. You want to get something long term, especially if it's cheap, but I don't think it's going to work out, and we're just going to have to take the L on this one.
We've taken a lot of L's over the past, decade. All right,
on to this one that you've been chomping at the bit for. Blake Martinez. We signed him.
I would have preferred Corey Littleton, but Blake Martinez is okay from what I've seen. He's not great. He's not bad. He's better than Ogletree. Sorry for yawning. Jeez. He's better than Ogletree, but then again, that's not really saying too much because Ogletree literally pulled his hamstring on a fumble recovery when he was running uncontested. He was running in a straight line and missed 3 games. Are you, I don't want to get into that. Alright, so Blake Martinez is an upgrade over Ogletree, and hopefully Patrick Graham, helps him become better than what he's been over the past, few years.
Yeah, he was showing real good sparks 2 years ago. That's what got, interest
under Patrick Graham, I believe.
Yeah, I think so. But, yeah.
He was once really good. Now he's just eh.
I think he can still be really good. I just think he has to be in a strong linebacker department.
We do not have strong linebackers. That's the issue.
Mm-hmm. Something we have to work on.
We kind of suck.
Hopefully he balls out.
Yeah. I hope. I would prefer if we were good instead of bad, which we've been for the past decade. If we cannot be bad, that would be really great for my self-esteem, for my heart, because, this team has given me agita many times. All right,
Rambles. We also signed one of his buddies from Green Bay, Kyle Fackrell.
What a name. We're going to call him Kyle Sackrell, hopefully. Mm-hmm. See what I did there?
Mm-hmm.
That's what we call a joke.
Uh-huh.
Like the Giants have been for the past decade. Now, Kyle, words. All right. This player, he had a 10-sack season under Patrick Graham, right?
Mm-hmm.
He has potential. He has talent. He's 27. Wouldn't sign him to a 5-year deal, but a 1-year deal to be the next Marcus Golden, apparently. Mm-hmm. It's not a bad idea. I have really no opinion over it. What's the risk here? There's no risk in this contract. It's a 1-year deal. If he sucks, the contract ends, let him walk. See ya. All right. That's really all I have.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so at core, it was just to replace Marcus Golden, as you said. And but there's a lot of, people were saying good things, especially Martinez and the other players around him in that defense. So I'm excited for him.
Yeah, he's definitely talented.
Mm-hmm. And if it's just a 1-year deal, he don't work out, we move on.
See ya.
Kind of like how the Golden deal was originally.
Yep. He was actually pretty solid. Right. And now he can't find a job, which is weird.
Now we move on to Levine Toilolo.
I never heard of the guy before we signed him. Since we signed him, I've done zero research because I just can't get past the name.
You don't like the name?
I never said I don't like the name. It's the name is it's the classic, I've never heard of you. Who are you? Why are you second and third in our tight end depth chart? But, when you're a bad team, you start seeing players that you've never heard of start popping up in your uniform.
I remember him mostly from his Falcons days. He wasn't too great, but he definitely showed sparks, most definitely.
Oh, I think I remember seeing him play for the Falcons. Looking back on it,
and he was a great pass blocker. He was a part of why the run game was so good in San Francisco.
I like that. I like that.
And it's just this is basically to replace Rhett Ellison now that he's retired.
Poor guy. He had concussions.
Hopefully he's good in the reception game. We know Garrett likes to run a lot of 2-3 tight end sets. Hopefully he can get involved there.
We should run like a 5 tight end set.
We would have to sign more tight ends.
Yeah. It'd be like, stop the big guy. Stop the big guy. Well, you're not stopping the big guy. Stuck on that. Let's sign 3 more tight ends. Tony Gonzalez, come back. Let's go.
Yeah, we could have had prime Tony Gonzalez for a 3rd round pick, but
that was something. That was that's a Jerry Reese special right there.
All right.
Can you imagine Eli with Tony Gonzalez?
Exactly.
Oh my God. All right. Jeez. We can move on.
All right, on to Cameron Fleming. Right tackle.
Well, he's a swing tackle, as they say.
Mm-hmm.
He's decent backup.
Good depth guy.
Good depth guy. Very good depth guy. He's got talent. He's worked with Jason Garrett before, obviously. I don't hate it. I have really no opinion of it, as it's once again a 1-year deal. No risk, really. If he stinks, he's gone. I don't know how much playing time he'll get, but I hope when he does, he doesn't suck.
Well, he'll be competing with Nick Gates at that right tackle spot, unless we draft a left tackle, which we'll be talking about on Wednesday.
Yeah.
Next.
I think we're gonna, by the way.
All right, we move on to Bradbury, James Bradbury.
Bradbury. I like Bradbury, honestly. Like, out of all the free agent signings, he's probably my favorite.
Yes, young guy. He's going into his 5th season now. It's crazy. He has clamped up he's clamped up DeAndre Hopkins, Julio Jones, Mike Evans. I've seen the stat lines. He's a real promising young guy.
I'm looking forward to seeing him play the football.
He's definitely going to be a good cornerback one, while we hope that people like, Beal, Valentine,
Baker,
all develop.
I hope they do, preferably. Please be good. We can't really deal with more bad football.
Yes, please don't give up and, tackle.
The Giants, before the pandemic, the Giants were the original depression maker for me. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing him play. 3-year deal, right? $15 million a year. I don't know when we could cut him if he stinks, but be good. Be good.
Yeah, I really like this one. We wanted to go after Byron Jones, but he is now the highest paid cornerback in the NFL. He
didn't even get that much more than Bradbury on an average annual basis, but he got like 2 extra years.
Mm-hmm. So I just hope he does well. I have a lot of hope for him. Clamps him up. We got a lot of big receivers to face this year. We're gonna need some clamps.
Give him the clamps.
All right. Next, we placed 2nd round tenure, which he signed on Aljagrosa.
Kick the ball through the uprights, sir. Like, we're not going to go too much into kicking, but I know bad kicking when I see it. And last year, he wasn't great. Last year, I saw him miss way too many extra points.
But when we switched our long snapper, he was he went off. He went
Yeah,
back to his all-pro ways.
They basically forced Zach DeOssie into retirement.
Mm-hmm.
They're like, dude, you're hurt. He goes, what? Dude, you're hurt. Sit down. He was that bad. Look at us talking about long snappers and kickers.
I don't know. Those the people, the unsung heroes of football teams.
Can't forget towel boys.
Mm-hmm.
Punters are people too, in the words of Rich Eisen.
All right. Next, we re-signed Corey Coleman.
Corey Coleman. Talented, blew out his name last year. Hopefully he's good. That's all I can say.
Right, so, he was pretty good on special teams, and he made a few good catches on offense.
Mm-hmm.
I think bringing him back on a small deal like this was, pretty good deal.
There is absolutely no risk.
Mm. All right. Now on to this one. This one kind of came out of left field, but Dion Lewis.
Dion Lewis. I don't really. Once again, 1-year deal. Who cares? He's a decent football player from what I've seen and remember from watching him play. I think he's like 29 or something.
So he's still got some.
He's hardly lost a step, in the words of Dave Gettleman.
Mm.
Please don't be the next Jonathan Stewart.
I don't think I will. I don't think he will. He was, a year or two ago, leading rusher for the Titans. Swapping back and forth between him and Derrick Henry.
Well, I was the leading rusher for the Titans at one point.
Nice.
Thank you.
All right. So, nice little signing for a backup. Perkins and Gallman have been up and down in our second and third spot. So it's nice to bring someone with a bit more experience in and that we know can get the job done.
Listen, Dion Lewis has been in the league for 8 years, and he's hardly lost a step. That's all I'll say.
All right. So now we move on to Colt McCoy.
Colt McCoy. Did he really put this in your notes? We have to talk about the backup quarterback. I wanted to talk
just because of the memes of
Let's
Alex Tanney.
Let's talk about the mentor quarterback who has pretty much zero chance of playing as long as Jones is healthy. And if Jones gets hurt, we're doomed. Because Colt McCoy is a bad quarterback.
I put this in just because I wanted to talk about. Do you think Alex Tanney is fighting for the second or third string spot?
Alex Tanney is still here. Are you telling me we re-signed Alex Tanney?
I'm pretty sure he is still on the football team. Yeah.
Jeez. Oh my. What? That dude is gonna be our coach one day.
Yeah.
I'm telling you.
Yeah.
Like, they love that guy so much, they keep bringing him back. He's been here for, like,
Alex
25
Tanney is still
years.
Quarterback.
He's been here forever. Who are you?
Backup quarterback for the Giants. That's Alex Tanney.
Do you know Alex Tanney is the lowest rated quarterback in Madden?
He is?
Yeah.
Let's go, man. That's great for us.
Like, I can't explain that, but whatever.
All right, so we move on to two special teams moves. Cody Corey,
great.
Nate Ebner.
I like Cody Gore. Is it Core or Gore?
Core.
I've been saying his name wrong this entire time, and he's been on the team for I've always thought it was Cody Gore because Cody Core just never sounded right in my mind. but that's his name, so I'm sorry, Cody. You're a very talented football player. What is it, 1-year deal? So, I mean, once again, all these 1-year deals, I'm just going to keep saying the same thing. There's absolutely no risk.
I really like the Ebner signing. Apparently, he's been a really strong piece in that Patriots special teams unit. He just guns down the field with speed. Really can't. Special teams, very underrated unit in the teams. On football teams.
Anytime you can pin the opposing team inside their own 20, inside their own 10, that's a big advantage. Field position is very important in football. You want to give up as few yards as possible in every facet.
All right, so like I said, 2 really good signings, 2 really good players. All right. Next, we released Antoine Bethea.
Yeah. That dude did not have it anymore. He was the Jonathan Stewart of defense.
Yeah.
See ya, buddy. Love you. Thank you.
Madden named him team MVP for our defense.
Madden didn't watch football. I think if we're going to pick an MVP of our defense, it would be probably Dalvin Tomlinson.
Or Marcus Golden.
Or Jabril
first
Peppers.
Half of the year, Jabril.
Yeah. Jabril broke his back for this team. Greg Jennings put the fucking team on his back, though. You know what I'm referencing?
Yes. How could you be a football / Madden fan and not know that one?
Darren Sharper. One of the most hard safeties in the league. Greg Jennings. Touchdown. But the funniest part of that video, I'm sorry, this is a quick little ramble. The funniest part is you see the final score, and it was a completely meaningless touchdown. He was up by 3 touchdowns or 4 touchdowns. It's like putting the team on his back, but even if he got tackled, he still would.
Don't matter. Greg Jennings still got the touchdown.
Greg Jennings is a legend, and thanks to that video.
And lastly, just a small one, we let go of Cody Latimer, who signs with the Redskins.
Cody, come back, though, now. You could blame it all on me. He was a good little player. I wish him success, but I also wish that the Redskins go 0-16.
I agree. All right, that's all I had for Giants free agency. Would you like to get on to some more general free agency shockers?
Well, first of all, let's just get the cat out of the bag here, because the cat's suffocating in there. All right, Yannick. I'm gonna say Yannick Ngakoue. I said that name perfectly. It's not that hard to pronounce, by the way. He is going nuts on social media today.
I know, he called out the Jags owner.
Now, we traded Odell because he was accused of being a distraction by members of the media, some of the front office, etc., radio hosts, etc., some Boomer fans. Okay, Boomer, whatever you say. All right, now, I really don't like when athletes talk about their contract issues on Twitter and stuff like that whenever they're unhappy. I don't like when athletes demand trades via social media. I think that's something that you just go to the owner, you go to the GM and you say, "Hey, I want out." I like when it's kept private. And it's just when you do something like that, when you're just yelling at him, saying you're hiding, he said you're hiding from me to the GM. It's the GM is working on getting the draft board ready right now. Let's use some logic here. The GM's got bigger priorities than the guy that wants out, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Like, the guy has the Jags have like 6th, 7th pick in the draft? Something like
Ninth.
that. 9th? Yeah, so, and they stink. They traded like all their best players.
They just released Marquise Lee as of 55 minutes ago.
Yeah, that was something. So, I just don't like when athletes in general do stuff like that, when they kind of have contract issues out in public like that. It's not even a contract issue. He just wants to leave. Trade requests. Words are hard.
Mm-hmm.
What are your thoughts, sir?
I just can't wait to see where he's going to end up on draft day. Apparently, Seahawks are a front runner in the deal so far.
Yeah, I can't see the Giants getting him. I just don't see it, honestly. Yeah. Great player.
Especially, we would have to swap, cap for that.
Yeah, I mean, he's a great player. He's a very talented player. It's just, he's being a headache right now. It's just, if we're gonna, let's not be hypocritical here. We traded Odell for some of his antics as he was accused of. So why would you acquire a player who just basically cried his way out of Jacksonville?
I mean, this has been building up for a while for him, so I can understand why he's irritated.
Yeah, I definitely understand the frustration.
Finally boiled over. I don't think he's I don't think this defines him as a player.
Listen, words, man. Trade requests happen all the time. Yannick wants out, and that's perfectly fine. If you want out, you just say, hey, I want out. He's made that clear that he doesn't want to be in Jacksonville anymore. That's perfectly fine. I just don't like the whole, calling your GM out on Twitter, stuff like that. Just tone it down a little bit. I mean, the GM right now you gotta be logical. The GM right now is not working on a Yannick trade. He's working on figuring out who he's gonna draft.
Mm-hmm.
So use some logic here. Yeah, that's all I'll say.
Well, we'll see what happens on draft night. See how this story comes to the end.
Thursday. Yeah, we gotta talk about Tom Brady going to the Buccaneers.
That's what I was about to pull up.
Tom Brady went to the Buccaneers.
Shocks the world after a lifelong career at the Patriots. I think he wants this legacy-wise. I think that's why he made the move. I think he wants to win a Super Bowl for a team that's struggling.
This is? Do you know what this is, Damon? Do you know what this is? This is Michael Jordan on the Wizards. That's what it is. Do I still think Tom Brady has good football left? Yeah. I just don't like seeing a legend in another uniform when they're so closely associated with one uniform.
Yeah, that's why the whole Eli Manning situation had me sweating, thinking that he was going to go to the Jags.
When Tom Brady retires, he will always be remembered as a Patriot.
Mm-hmm.
He'll always be remembered for losing 2 Super Bowls, too. To the Giants. Well, no, 2 to us, I mean. So, that division's going to be fun. They got, Drew Brees, Tom Brady, Matt Ryan, right?
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, that was my Netflix going off. I think they got Teddy Bridgewater, too, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Cam Newton, see you later. But yeah, Tom Brady, greatest quarterback ever, going to the Buccaneers. I can't wait to see him with Mike Evans, though.
And Godwin.
That's going to be fun.
It will.
Those uniforms, though.
Bringing back the 2000s.
I like the uniforms that they were previously wearing.
I don't know. I like these new uniforms based off the 2000s.
I like football.
Yeah, me too. All right.
The Bucs are going to be good, by the way. I think they're going to win 10 games. That's my prediction. 10 wins.
Okay. Now we move on to the Hopkins trade. DeAndre Hopkins is now a Cardinal.
What is Bill O'Brien doing? when we talk about the Hopkins trade, we also have to bring up the Brandon Cooks trade.
Mm-hmm.
Because he got Brandon Cooks to replace DeAndre Hopkins.
And Randall Cobb.
And he gave up a second-round pick for Brandon Cooks. What was Hopkins? He was traded for like a second, right?
Uh-huh.
A second and Duke Johnson. And it's like
not Duke Johnson, David Johnson.
And Dave, yeah, wow, dumbass. I called myself dumbass, not you. David Johnson, who was once really good, then fell off a cliff and has a big
17
contract.
Injuries.
So he traded a top 5 receiver for a
top
receiver.
3?
Yeah, really. It's for a wide receiver who's not nearly as good, who's had like 15 concussions, by the way,
Mm-hmm.
Brandon Cooks. Remember, Brandon Cooks got laid out in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I'll never forget that.
Like, I think he got laid out twice in the Super Bowl in 2 different Super Bowls. So he has not had good luck with concussions. All right, so you're trading top 3 receiver for Brandon Cooks, a running back with a ton of injuries and making a good amount of money, for what? A second-round pick that you then traded to get Brandon Cooks. So you just made a backwards lateral move. You made a backwards move. You went backwards with a 24-year-old how old's Deshaun Watson? 24, 25? Superstar quarterback. He's a top 5 quarterback in the league. All right? And you're making your team worse? Bill, that's not how this is supposed to work. I don't think Deshaun Watson's ever going to win a Super Bowl in Houston. I think they're screwing him a little bit.
It's going to be one of those tragic tales.
Like, what the hell? I mean, they got him killed his first 2 years. They didn't have a left tackle. He was getting murdered every week. He's one of the most exciting players in football. They got Laramie Tunsil. They gave up a shit ton of draft picks to get Laramie Tunsil. They gave up a lot of assets to fix that offensive line to try to win Super Bowls. And you know what you do? You trade DeAndre Hopkins and replace him for Brandon Cooks? What are you doing, man? Bill O'Brien. And let's not pretend like Bill O'Brien is Bill Belichick here. All right, Bill O'Brien lost a football game in which he was up like what was the point differential in the game against the Chiefs? What was it? 21 points, something like that.
Yeah, it was like 21 or 24.
Yeah, that's what I remember. And Patrick Mahomes destroyed him. All right. What the hell? Who owns the Texans? Guys.
And all I gotta say is we thought the Odell trade was bad.
Dude, he made Dave Gettleman look like freaking Jesus.
We made him look like Danny Ainge.
Why would you do this? Like, I don't understand. Like, I get that DeAndre Hopkins I think he wanted a new contract. It was a money thing. But Brandon Cooks has a big contract. So would you rather pay Brandon Cooks or would you rather pay DeAndre Hopkins? For me personally, it's not really a coin flip. It's DeAndre Hopkins. Pay DeAndre Hopkins. Except he didn't. But what I will say is the Kyler Murray DeAndre Hopkins combo is going to be very fun to watch.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I love
if
Kyler
you can
Murray.
See over his offensive line.
I love Kyler Murray. He's like an inspiration for short people. He really is. I mean, I'm a short person myself. I think Kyler Murray is my height. So he's got some serious arm talent though, and he can run. That connection with DeAndre Hopkins and him, that's gonna be fun. They've got another receiver, Christian Kirk. I think he's really good too. I don't know too much about the Cardinals. I just remember Josh Rosen getting murdered by their offensive line, and that's about it. But yeah, that's gonna be really fun. I like what I've seen out of Cliff Kingsbury. I like football. That's really all I can say. They'll definitely make a
splash this season. I'll be excited to watch it. And Cardinals fans finally have something excited to watch.
There's definitely been a lot of There's definitely been a lot of movement. Oh, Larry's coming back too, right?
I know. Yeah.
Hell yeah. Living like Larry.
All right. Now let's talk about some remaining free agents. Clowney is still a free agent.
Oh, Clowney
is still a free agent. And Jameis Winston is still a free agent.
Jameis Winston, I believe, had LASIK eye surgery, right? Didn't he have eye surgery?
He did. Yes.
Thank God. He is so talented, but he is also so puzzling at the same time. Oh, we're talking about Jameis first, because you can't contain my excitement when Jameis Winston is brought up. Because he is the first and only quarterback to ever throw 30 touchdowns and 30 interceptions. What a quarterback, I must say. What a quarterback. He, once again, so talented. He makes some really great throws.
You can't deny his talent. That's something you have to talk about.
He made some great throws. He had a lot of talent. He still does. He's not old. He's like 25 or something. All right, so he's got a long road to get back. I wouldn't necessarily give up on him or anything, but my God, man, there were games where he's just threw like 5-6 interceptions, and it looked like he never picked up a football.
That's the thing. Then he'll have a game where he throws like 6 touchdowns, and he looks like the best quarterback ever. He's so like wishy-washy.
It's so up and down that you can't rely on him. Being accountable, being reliable, that's really the most valuable trait any quarterback can have. And Bruce Arians had the best quote about it. He goes, "There's a lot of great and there's a lot of outright terrible." And I think he's gonna sign with the team. He's gonna get a 1-2 year deal, and he's gonna have to work to get a starting job back, and he's gonna have to not throw 30 interceptions.
Like a Tannehill situation?
Yeah, that's exactly what I mean. Like a Tannehill situation. He's more talented than Tannehill in my opinion. He just hasn't put it together.
He definitely has the talent. You can't deny that. I think if you put him around the right coaching staff, he can be a starting quality quarterback, and he can be really good.
They put him with Bruce Arians. Bruce Arians is a really good coach, and Bruce Arians it has to stop with the interceptions. It has to stop. Like Daniel Jones with the fumbles. If he's gonna keep fumbling like this, they're screwed. If Jameis Winston keeps throwing 30 interceptions, he will never be a starting quarterback again. Still time, though. Still time.
All right. Next, we got Cam Newton is still a free agent.
This is a weird one for sure. It's been a bumpy road the past 3-4 years for Cam Newton. But he's still very talented. He's still got skill. He's still gigantic as a human. I don't know where he's going to go. I've been saying I would like to see him go to the Chargers. That just seems like the logical fit for me. But I don't know.
I've never been the biggest Cam Newton fan, but I won't deny he is definitely a starting quality quarterback. Maybe it's a Super Bowl.
I don't understand why they gave up on him, but I do understand at the same time. But he definitely deserves to be a starter in this league. I don't know why the Chargers wouldn't take him.
It's just I'm surprised that no team is. I thought the Patriots would have scooped them up immediately the second he hit free agency.
Yeah, I think the Bill Belichick saw the way that Cam Newton types on Instagram. And he's like, yeah, I don't want this. I don't understand that typing style. I don't understand how it started.
He's just trying to be a quirky, funny guy.
I don't understand how it started, where it started, why it started. But I kind of love it, to be honest. I love, the one thing that I do love is the workout videos of him listening to, like, the most hype gospel music that you can possibly find. And I just felt like, I feel like running through a brick wall. I'm not even religious.
This comeback story will probably be one of the greatest we've seen if you're working out to gospel music.
He's got God on his side. That's for sure. All right. He's going to sign. This is my prediction. He's going to sign 1-year deal, get his starting job back, and lead his team to the playoffs, wherever that is. I think if he signed with the Chargers right now, the Chargers would win 10 games and make the playoffs. Look at Tom. Look at me with my hot takes.
All right. Now we got Clowney still a free agent. Yeah.
I don't understand why he hasn't signed, personally. I don't understand. He's a good player. Obviously, he only had 3 sacks last year, but he made a big impact in some big games last year. Mm-hmm. He's someone that's very like James Winston, where he's either hot or cold. But I don't understand why he's still out there. I definitely think he deserves to be paid a good amount of money.
I think it's just teams see it the way that I do. I think he probably wants that first overall pick money. Teams don't want to pay that for a man who's barely hit 10 sacks in seasons. Some team will probably, eventually, break down and pay him, but as of right now, you'll have to lower that asking price.
I miss you already. Jadavion. Where do you think he's gonna go? I'm gonna say the Browns. I've heard the Browns for a while.
Russell Wilson has been campaigning to bring him back, so I wouldn't be shocked if he.
It would be cool to see him go back. He's definitely holding out for a long-term, high-money deal. I just don't think he's gonna get it.
Yeah, me too.
Love you, Jadavion. Remember that big hit that he had in college? Knocked the helmet off? I remember you showing me the video, and you're like, the Giants need this guy, but then he went first overall.
That seems forever ago now.
It was forever ago. It was like 5 or 6 years ago.
Okay. Anything else, Tom? Any other free agency splashes you want to go over?
I'm thinking. Thinking. Have we checked all the boxes?
So far, yes, we have.
I'm checking my mind here. All right. I think, for the most part, we're good. Now, there's one last thingamabob. One last topic. Christian McCaffrey got paid. And that is big for the Giants because, obviously, we have Saquon. So, I almost forgot about that. So let's discuss.
What are your feelings about him being signed?
Christian McCaffrey's a really good player. I think he got 1,000 yards receiving, too.
Mm-hmm.
So, he's a good player. He deserves a good amount of money, and good on him. But I think the most important thing is, what does this mean for Saquon? I think, a lot of the value that McCaffrey brings is actually as a receiver as opposed to as a running back. So, but the Giants have never made Saquon Barkley run routes. Saquon Barkley has been a check down for the most part.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure his longest was off a wheel route.
Yeah, so, I mean, that's where the value is kind of different. Because you could put Christian McCaffrey at wide receiver, but the Giants haven't put Saquon Barkley at wide receiver.
Yeah, but we could do that. It's just that Shermer, neglected Saquon. He didn't want to use Saquon that much.
They definitely didn't use Saquon enough.
Hopefully Joe Judge he deserves 20 carries, 10 plus receptions a game. He can do it all.
Make him run routes. Make him return kickoffs like in college.
I think he deserves a contract like that, even in this non-paying running back league.
Make him return kickoffs and like he did in college.
That's why we got Coleman and Cody for.
Yeah. That was Penn State Saquon was fun.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah, I think we're good.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Wednesday.
Join us Wednesday when we go over our draft special.
Draft special. It's the midnight special, just with the drafts.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to draft a football player on Thursday.
Mm-hmm.
Will he be good?
Wednesday we will go over the possible prospects and our pros and cons of each
Will he
prospect.
be good or will he be Eric Flowers? That is to be determined.
Knock on wood with that one.
Right now is not the time to get dirty.
All right. Thanks for listening, everyone. See you Wednesday.
Love you all. Big Daddy rocks. See you later.